Hey everyone, Cameron here. Before we dive into today's episode about the weird Zelda games, I just want to make a quick announcement. I did a guest spot on Anime Summit. I think the episode should be out by the time this episode comes out. If not, I apologize to everyone over there and to all of you for wasting your time. But it should be out by the time this episode comes out. Me and Tom, we did an episode talking about the Kingdom Hearts manga. So if you're a fan of Kingdom Hearts or you're a fan of just anime in general, go over to Anime Summit and check out the episode we did. Link will be in the description. But with that being said, let's get on to today's episode of Nerd Explosion.
My friends are my power. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
What is going on, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and nerds everywhere? Welcome back to Nerd Explosion, a weekly podcast where based on a monthly theme we nerd out about whatever we want. I am Cameron.
And I am Kate.
And I am really disappointed that it's snowing outside right now.
I'm living my best fucking life.
It is November
cold.
20th.
I don't care. It's cold.
Snow
it's
needs to hold off
snowing.
until after Thanksgiving.
You shut your whore mouth.
You...
After
First
October,
of all,
after
rude.
October 1st, it can snow any day. I said that with my full chest, and I meant it.
Okay, whatever. Before we get into the topic for today's episode, there's a thing I wanted to share, and since we're in Zelda month, it kind of fits the theme. I was scrolling through Facebook because I'm an old person, and one of the things that popped up was a Legend of Zelda meme because obviously Facebook listens to everything you say and do, and promotes stuff that's relevant to you. So I found a meme. It was like the red pill, blue pill thing. If anybody's ever seen Matrix, like you take the red pill, you take the blue pill, blah blah blah. So in this meme, the red pill is full Ocarina of Time remake in the Breath of the Wild engine, but Twilight Princess and Wind Waker are deleted from existence. Then the blue pill is full Majora's Mask remake in the Breath of the Wild engine, but the Zelda movie stars John Cena as Link. Now about you, but that's a definite blue pill for me. Or actually, no, red pill. No, blue pill.
Okay, a Majora's Mask remake in the Breath of the Wild
Majora's
engine.
Mask remake in the Breath of the Wild engine, but the Zelda movie has John Cena as Link. I don't know, for me, that's
what was the red pill?
The red pill was a full Ocarina of Time remake in the Breath of the Wild engine, but Twilight Princess and Wind Waker are deleted from existence. That's why that's an easy blue pill for me, because I like I said, Twilight Princess is my favorite. I'm not deleting that from existence. I'll sacrifice. I'll take the sacrifice of John Cena as Link. I mean, Link doesn't really talk anyway, so sure.
I would love to see. Yeah, actually, I think that's an easy blue pill for me too.
Now I'm just imagining like it's John Cena, but he fully like leans into his WWE career for this other movie. He's hitting Ganondorf with the attitude adjustment. He just goes up to Ganondorf. He just says, "You can't see me."
The only thing that would make it better is if The Rock played Zelda. Or played Link.
Who better? Yes. Just, it's the Zelda movie, but just the whole cast is just WWE wrestlers.
Oh, a petition for Rhea Ripley to play Zelda. We need a goth Zelda.
Rhea Ripley is Zelda.
We need a goth mommy Zelda yesterday.
Interesting. Oh, jeez, I didn't realize we were like 4 minutes into this. We went off on a tangent. But anyway, today's episode, what we wanted to talk about, and since at this point we're already 4 minutes in, we'll just dive right in. Today's episode, as part of Zelda Month, I wanted to revisit another old episode that I did talking about Zelda spin-off games. These are ones that are not part of the main like Zelda timeline, basically not part of any like main plot. These are just kind of like side stories. Well, some of them are kind of side stories, but then other ones are just other games based off of the Zelda series. And yes, I know what you're thinking. We will be talking about those games. Nice one. But before we dive in, new episodes of this podcast come out every Saturday. You know the drill. Do all the things on all the socials. But to start off this spin-off journey, I'm just going to go down on the Wikipedia for the Legend of Zelda spin-off games. I'm just going to go down the list they have. Some of them I'm going to save for last because, you got to save the best for last. So the first spin-off game on here that they have on this list is Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda.
Crypt of the Necrodancer?
Yes. Now, there was a game called Crypt of the Necrodancer, which, if I go into it, it's a roguelike rhythm game. So basically, you explore dungeons and everything, but you move, on beat to a song. Everything is... It's a dungeon crawler, but also it's rhythm-based. You move around and attack, to the beat. And they did a crossover with Legend of Zelda. So basically, they released a whole Zelda version of it. Published by Nintendo. It came out June 13th, 2019. From looking at these stores, it was, a lot of people really liked it. Because I'm sure a lot of people were already fans of Crypt of the Necrodancer, and just doing that, but giving it a Zelda overhaul, a lot of people really seem to like.
Okay, that's really cute, actually.
Yeah, because you don't just play as Link or Zelda, you also play as the girl in the middle. She's got what has she got? She's got a shovel, and I think she's the main character of Crypt of the Necrodancer, which I've never played, but it's definitely something that seems right up my alley. Maybe I'll do that original, or maybe I'll check out Cadence of Hyrule, but yeah, it's just, like I said, it's a roguelike rhythm game, and it looks really fun. And you know me, I'm a sucker for rhythm games. I played the shit out of Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Back then.
Back in the day. Because we're fucking old.
Next on this list, and I'm not really going in order because some of these are related to each other, so I'll kind of go on the second in the list and then further down. The next thing on here is Freshly Picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land, which was released in Japan on September 2006, released in Japan September 2006, and in Europe in September of 2007, and it released for the Nintendo DS, which, if I could back up a bit, Cadence of Hyrule was released for the Nintendo Switch, before I forget to mention that one. But Freshly Picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land is...
Love Tingle.
Basically, it's a spin-off game for Tingle, who is a character from Wind Waker. And...
He calls Link Mr. Fairy. It's precious.
Let's see. The game follows an alone and lazy 35-year-old man's transformation into his green-clothed fairy persona.
I forgot he's 35.
He's a 35-year-old man dressed
He's
as a fairy.
whole adult. But you know what? Honestly, same.
The story starts when one day a voice calls the main character, whose name is chosen by the player, from his home to a spring west of his house. There, Uncle Rupee, an old man with a rupee-shaped head, appears and offers him a life in paradise called Rupee Land if he continues to feed rupees into the western pool. If enough rupees are fed, the tower found under the pool will grow upwards towards the sky, and Tingle will be able to enter Rupee Land. He accepts the offer, and Uncle Rupee transforms him so that rupees become his source of life. In fact, if unfortunately he loses all the rupees without preserving even one, he will die. Moreover, Uncle Rupee gives him the name Tingle, making him forget his own. So I love in the game, you can name Tingle, but he gets named Tingle anyway.
I was just going to ask, so the game lets you name your character just to be like, fuck you, it's Tingle.
We all know who this is. I wonder, and I haven't seen any video of this, so I wonder in the game if you named him Tingle, and then it gets to the point where he just gets called Tingle if there's some special dialogue, God damn it.
I'm sorry. It's the deep epi.
Well, why are you drinking it then? No more for you. You're cut off. You're cut off, ma'am. As Tingle builds... and you fucking... Don't take another sip of Dr. Pepper out of pettiness.
Don't tell me what to do.
As Tingle builds the tower and explores the various lands defeating enemies and bosses, it becomes increasingly clear that Uncle Rupee is motivated by a purely greedy and selfish intent, and is appropriating all the money collected by Tingle and wants to have total domination on Rupee Land. After Tingle completes the last task, Uncle Rupee, now completely addicted to the power of the rupees and furious that Tingle won't give them to him anymore, engages in a fight against him. After defeating Uncle Rupee, there are two possible endings, and they depend on whether or not Tingle has collected all of the rupee goods scattered across the various lands. So, what happens in the bad ending? Tingle finds all the rupee goods and goes to Rupee Land, where he begins to live in the wildest luxury and idleness, becoming incredibly greedy and therefore not so different from Uncle Rupee. So basically, he pulls an Anakin Skywalker and becomes the very thing he swore to destroy.
You were supposed to destroy the stiff, not become one.
The stiff.
The stiff. Yeah, I tripped over my words. Leave me alone.
I didn't know Mike Tyson was in Star Wars.
Shut the fuck up.
Destroy the stiff.
I'm gonna throw this nail clipper at you. Y'all see how he do me?
So the good ending, Tingle doesn't find... Somebody needs to fix this Wikipedia article because it says, Tingle doesn't finds all the rupee goods. Peace finally returns to the world and Tingle returns to his former life. Also, rupees start raining from the sky to the happiness of the people who collect them. You know, if I saw rupees raining from the sky, I don't think I would be happy. I would be terrified.
It's raining rubies.
Because that's...
Hallelujah.
Because they're gems, essentially, right?
Yeah.
They're gems.
They're rupees.
And have you seen the size of them in the game? Gems that big raining from the sky, people are gonna die. Like, people are dying.
Yeah, I mean, they're hefty.
Somebody's getting split in half with one of those.
And you have to assume that they're, like, weighty, you know? Like, just on their size alone.
Somebody's just looking up at the sky like, oh, it's raining money. Oh, my eyes. My leg.
I was just gonna say that.
My leg.
My leg. Actually, my leg. I was sitting funny and now it's asleep.
From what I've seen with freshly picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land, the game is just as weird as Tingle is. Like, people already thought Tingle was a weird character, and the game is just as weird. If not weirder, sometimes. Because I definitely lean into the weirdness of it.
Well, Tingle, I mean, the concept, and this is like, the call is coming from inside the house, and I'm fucking aware of that, okay? But the idea of a grown human in their 30s dressed as a fairy is just so goddamn weird as it is, that I think leaning into that character and leaning into the fact that, like, oh, he's unwell, I think makes it funnier.
Any more thoughts on that before we move on?
No.
Alright, so next on this list, there's actually two games here. A game and then its sequel that I want to talk about, and I actually really, really enjoyed. These are probably my favorite spin-offs, or Zelda spin-offs of all time. Hyrule Warriors and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So, the first Hyrule Warriors, it's described as a hack and slash game, which was developed by Omega Force and Team Ninja, and was published by Nintendo for the Wii U. Came out in 2014, or originally came out in 2014. I should say North America, September 26, 2014. In Japan, August 14th, 2014. And in Europe, September 19th, 2014. And then the 3DS version came out in Japan, January 21st, 2016. Europe, March 24th, 2016. And North America, March 25th, 2016. And then the Nintendo Switch version, Japan got it March 22nd, 2018, and the rest of the world got it May 18th, 2018. Now, all I basically know about Hyrule Warriors is that it took the gameplay style of another game called Dynasty Warriors, which Dynasty Warriors is in itself like they describe a hack and slash game. Like, you go through different maps, you have like different missions, but you basically just take out like armies of enemies and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they basically applied that to a Legend of Zelda game. Now, the only other Dynasty Warriors clone that I've played like this is One Piece Pirate Warriors.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you know what game I'm talking about, right? Zelda.
I guess I didn't realize there was a Zelda version of.
They made a Zelda version of that. Yeah, it was Hyrule Warriors.
What was the one? Maybe because when we were talking about this before we started recording, and I said that game sucked. I feel like I might be thinking about a different game. I just remember a castle in the background, and then like a bunch of little different characters in the foreground of like this grassy area, and everybody was like fighting each other.
Dorian,
or
do you have something to say?
Is that Hyrule Warriors?
I have no idea. It might be what you're talking about, but I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. But to kind of go over to like the plot of Hyrule Warriors, and somebody actually shared a meme of this the other day, and it was funny. The whole game, like the main villain Sia, the main reason she decides to try to take over Hyrule and fuck shit up is because she's jealous of the relationship between Zelda and Link. And so the thing with Sia is she is one half of a person, because there's I forget what their actual name was, but this person was split in two. One half is Sia, and the other, if I can find it in here, the other half is known as...
Do you have a picture of this game?
Yeah, I'll show you in a second.
I guess I could look it up too.
Un momento, señorita.
I have my phone right fucking here.
I can't find the name of the character, but it's what is it? Come on, give me a sign, give me a name. Lana. So this person was split into two people, Lana and Sia, but they're part of one person, and Sia becomes evil because she's basically like, I wanted to fuck Link. You know?
Honestly, same.
There was some added DLC to Hyrule Warriors called Hyrule Warriors Legends, which kind of expands on the story and adds characters, including the introduction of Linkle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Linkle. Basically a female version of Link, even though she's an entirely different character. Thinking more on Hyrule Warriors, I enjoyed it. I definitely, like, as far as spin-offs, it's definitely like one of my favorites, but I totally understand why people didn't really take that well to it. Mm-hmm. Because it was something different, and it was just like, blah, 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 blah. You know how things are. And there's not really much more I can say on it. You got any thoughts?
No, I didn't like it, so.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a lot of thoughts about it.
Now, I didn't really think the first Hyrule Warriors was great. The second one, Age of Calamity, I really liked. I really absolutely liked. So Age of Calamity came out in 2020 and was basically the same gameplay style, same gameplay and everything, but this actually kind of took an already existing plot from a main Zelda game and kind of expanded on it. So Age of Calamity takes place kind of around the time of Breath of the Wild. Mm-hmm. And the basic story of it is that during the Age of Calamity, when Ganon is, destroying Hyrule and stuff, there's a little robot that Zelda had as a pet that is able to open up a portal and travel back in time, and basically tries to warn past Zelda of the destruction and everything that Ganon and his forces are going to cause Hyrule. So she works with Link and all the champions at the time to try to prevent this future from occurring. So in that, it kind of creates two timelines from Breath of the Wild. The timeline that this little robot guy, I forget the name. Let me get into. I gotta see the name because it's something cute, I believe. Let's see, Calamity Guardian. What is the little guardian's name? God damn it! Get to the Point. Terrico.
Oh, that is cute.
Terrico, it's like a little mini Guardian. So there's a timeline that Terrico left, which causes Hyrule to be destroyed and gives us the events of like Breath of the Wild and stuff, where Zelda had Link sleep for 100 years. But then we got the new timeline where the Guardians from the past helped the Guardians of the future prevent the destruction of Hyrule and create a new timeline where Ganon was not successful to start with.
Right.
And that's why I really liked it, because it already took like the story of Breath of the Wild and like expanded on it and kind of added like, why certain people are the way they are, or why, how this makes sense and this makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
But it also makes the timeline that much more complicated.
It's already convoluted to begin with. But these spin-off games aren't canon, though, right?
Age of Calamity might be considered canon. Like, Hyrule Warriors is definitely... Well, the only reason I say Hyrule Warriors might be canon is because, with timelines merging and stuff, with, random characters popping up in Hyrule Warriors that you wouldn't expect to interact with each other, there might be... A lot of people think that's somewhere in the timeline because they get pulled from different timelines.
Sure.
Like, they're able to... Lana, I think she has the magic to be able to, pull help from different timelines and stuff. I mean, same with Sia, too. She's able to pull villains from different eras to try to, take out Link and Zelda and all of Hyrule.
Mm-hmm.
But Age of Calamity could definitely be considered canon because it basically takes place during the, like I said, it takes place during the events of Breath of the Wild. And you got the main timeline that, like I said, that Terrico left, which leads to the events of Breath of the Wild, but then the other alternate timeline where, the Age of Calamity never happens.
Right.
Or the Great Calamity never happens. I really liked Age of Calamity. Like, I just loved...
Maybe I should give these games another shot.
I love Breath of the Wild as like a whole because it's the first open world Zelda game, and you were able to actually explore freely. Like, you could go, once you got done with the Great Plateau, you could go straight to Ganon if you want. Don't recommend it, but you can do that. You have the freedom to do that. Yeah, overall, Age of Calamity, I really liked, and definitely give it another shot if you're able to.
I like the idea that, if you want to start this game up and go right after Ganon, go for it. You will have your ass handed to you on a silver platter.
Die.
But
some of you may die.
But that's
it's a
risk
sacrifice
I'm
willing to take. Or I'm willing to make. The next game I wanted to touch on is kind of a sequel to Tindo's Rosy Rupee Land. And it's called Ripened Tindo's Balloon Trip of Love. Or the Japanese version. Or if you go by the Japanese name, Irozuki Tingle no Toi no Balloon Trip. It came out on the DS in Japan on August 6th, 2009. And it only has a Japan date, so I think this game only came out in Japan. But I'm sure there's, English translations all over the place. But originally, this was a Japanese exclusive. Overview. I love that they hammer in the fact that Tingle is a 35-year-old man.
Yeah, they're like, just in case you forgot.
The game's storyline starts with an ordinary 35-year-old man, ordinary, quote unquote.
There's nothing ordinary about Tingle, let's be clear.
Who watches a direct sales program on television and orders a book said to make its readers popular among women. When the man opens the book, he gets sucked into a picture book world. In this world, he becomes Tingle, wearing a green costume. Tingle meets three characters that accompany him on his journey to escape the world. Kakashi the Scarecrow, Baruki the Tin Robot Woman, and Lion the Lion.
Kakashi, Baruki, and Lion.
And if it wasn't obvious enough, these characters are inspired by the Scarecrow, Tin Woodman, and Cowardly Lion from The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, respectively.
Oh my god, I love the Cowardly Lion.
The player has to solve many puzzles that require use of the different abilities of Tingle's three partners. Kakashi lacks intelligence but is small and therefore can get into small places. Baruti is very intelligent but heartless and can cleverly solve puzzles Tingle's other partners cannot. The party's last member, Lion, who is more powerful than the other two partners, but cowardly. Many of the actions in the game are performed via the stylus. Another central gameplay element is a romantic interaction with 5 different female characters. The player has to find the right words during the dialogues and to give Tingle's love interests the best fitting items to win their favor. This is necessary for continuing the adventure. To complete the game, Tingle must have some degree of a relationship with all of the girls. Unlike its predecessor, Irozuki Tingle no Toy no Balloon Trip is completely touchscreen controlled, except for a small dungeon minigame segment, in which a control pad may be purchased. Control pad may be purchased? I love that
there's a part of this where it's like, yeah, you have your adventure, but also a dating sim.
I just love this, like, yeah, you have a bunch of partners that are inspired by Wizard of Oz, you just solve puzzles. Also, you have to romance a bunch of women. I'm just sitting here like, what is this game?
What is this game?
Like, I'm literally, like, as soon as we're done recording, I'm about to find the ROM of this because I really hope the website that I can get them from has the English translation. And I really want to play this because, my god, this sounds like a trip and I'm all for it. I might get the other one too, the other Tingle game, just to check it out. Because, like, the more I, like, look at these, the more of, like, I should really check these out. Because they just sound goofy and stupid, and I'm honestly here for it. Like, I have to know, you know? Mm-hmm. I have to know. I have to know. Does Bruno Mars is gay?
I was just going to say.
Does Bruno Mars is gay? The next one on here is another crossover with an existing game. We have My Nintendo Picross, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. It is a puzzle game obviously based on Twilight Princess. I'm trying to think, what was Picross? Okay, gameplay. My Nintendo Picross offers several puzzle modes accessible from the main screen. The first is regular Picross, the second is Mega Picross, and the third is Micross, in which players must assemble a larger image from numerous smaller puzzles. Each mode has different graphics and music. When first starting the game, the player is walked through a tutorial by the character Midna, who serves as the game's hostess. So it's like literally, from what I understand, it's literally a puzzle game.
A Legend of Zelda puzzle game with Midna as the hostess?
Like literal.
The hostess with the mostess? Don't look at me like that.
No, I wasn't wrong? I wasn't judging you. I was just trying to think of some more clever to say. Something involving Dumpy.
She do be thick. Dummy thick.
You don't need dumb luck when you got a dump truck. Moving on. Don't you slow clap me.
Don't fucking patronize me.
From what I know, Picross is basically games like you have like a jumble like mess of stuff and you have to put them together to create images. So it's up there with like your Tetrises, like, you know, those like little puzzle games. Nothing that like ever interested me, but yeah, in 2006 they did a Twilight Princess crossover, and again it came out. No, it's a 3DS. Never mind. I was gonna say I could download a ROM of it, but my emulator only does Nintendo DS games. Hopefully they'll add 3DS games soon, which I think we touched on that in the last episode, that they could easily add that and just not worry about the 3D aspect.
Yeah.
Because all it's going to do is give people a headache, and also...
hot take, the 3DS was a waste of machinery anyway.
Well, no, because it ran stuff better and it had better graphical style. The only thing I could have done without... Yeah, but
it didn't have to be 3D.
Well, yeah. I think that's why they released
I liked the regular DS.
I think that's why they released the Nintendo 2DS. Yeah. Because it ran the same way. Like, it ran almost the same, if not better, than the 3DS, just without the 3D of it. Anyway, moving on. Another short one is Tingle's Balloon Fight DS, which, hold on, I gotta go. Okay, it like redirected me somewhere weird. But So Balloon Fight or Balloon Trip was an older Nintendo game, like an NES game, where you played as this little guy with a big balloon on his back, and you had to collect a bunch of stuff in each level, and you progressed. And I think they basically Tingle's Balloon Fight is just a version of that, but with Tingle.
Yeah.
Because Tingle's biggest thing in the game was floating around with a big balloon. So that's all I gotta say about that.
I feel like I played that.
Tingle's Balloon Fight, or at
I
least
vaguely
Balloon
remember.
Fight.
Yeah.
Do you remember or some variation of that where it's different levels and you just die with a big balloon and you go to different platforms and collect stuff and then it's like, okay, move on to the next level.
Yeah. I think so. That sounds really familiar, actually.
All right. So now out of all of these, because some of these are, well, actually, I'm going to touch on some of these before I get to the main event of this episode. We have the Satellaview games from Legend of Zelda. So to quickly explain what the Satellaview was, it was according to Wikipedia, a satellite modem peripheral produced by Nintendo for the Super Famicom, which was the Super Nintendo, the name of it in Japan, in 1995, containing 1 megabyte of ROM space and an additional 512 kilobytes of RAM. Satellaview allowed players to download games, magazines, and other media through satellite broadcasts provided by Japanese company Saint Giga. Its heavy third-party support included Squaresoft, Taito, Konami, Capcom, and Sega. So basically, Satellaview was just like online servers you could download a bunch of stuff, but it was only in Japan. Mm-hmm. Which, you greedy bastards.
Tell me how you really feel.
There were 3 Zelda games which had narration over them. And I'm going to butcher these Japanese names, so I apologize, but we have BS Zelda no Densetsu, Zelda no Densetsu Map 2, and Zelda no Densetsu Initie no Setiban. Like I said, I probably butchered these, but let's see. These are basically like either takes on existing Zelda games or like a variation, like kind of an original thing, but they had live narrations when they broadcasted. Mm-hmm. I can't really say more on them because, like I said, I never grew up in Japan. I didn't grow up in Japan with these games, so unless I meet somebody Japanese who's, as old as me or older and remembers these, I got nothing to say on it. But I do have something to say on the last games I want to talk about here to finish off this episode. The infamous Link or Zelda CDI games.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Actually, that was from the show. That was from the show, not the CDI games.
Same vibe, same art style.
I'm saying it before you do.
I got it from a tweet. I'm saying it so you don't.
So the main two, there was one that was called Zelda's Adventure, which was like a live action one, but it followed the same gameplay style. But a lot of people don't really talk about that one. The main ones that people talk about and meme all the time are Link: The Faces of Evil and Zelda: The Wand of Gamelon. They're both action adventure games developed by Animation Magic and published by Philips Interactive Media for the CDI on October 10th, 1993 in North America and December 25th of the same year in Europe. They were released the same day, were developed simultaneously, and look and play similarly because they use the same graphic engine. Both games are based on Nintendo's Legend of Zelda franchise, but are not acknowledged as official canonical entries, and are the first 2 of the 3 Zelda games released for the CDI. Again, the third being Zelda's Adventure. So, if you don't remember the Zelda CDI games at all, they're just like hot take. I have a hot take. I absolutely love the Zelda CDI games. Like, not for the gameplay at all, but just because of how bad they are, Like, does that make any sense? Like, they're so bad.
They're so bad that they're enjoyable.
They're so bad that they're enjoyable.
I like them in the sense that they're so fun to make fun of. Like, I just love to hate it. You know what I mean? Like, I love being a fucking hater when it comes to those games.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
My boy.
My boy. I just love how Link is such a doof in these. Gee, it sure is boring around here.
I wonder what Ganon's up to.
Strive for?
I just wonder what Ganon's up to.
I can't wait to bounce those Dodongos. I just love how that's the start of everything. Just, you know, you're in for a good time, and all of a sudden just the King of Hyrule pops up and you just hear, my boy.
My boy.
My favorite thing though is from the Zelda one, Wand of Gamelon. I forget the boss's name, or the person's the villain's name that you fight. But when you defeat them, they start melting, and they're just like, "You killed me," and then Zelda's just like, "Good." Oh my god! Like, for me, I have the same feeling about the Zelda CDI games that I do about The Room. Like, the line deliveries and everything, and just everything about it is so bad. But it's just one of those things that, like, I love to watch because it makes me laugh. Like, it makes me giggle.
It makes me giggle.
It makes me giggle. My giggle and my whittles.
It makes me giggle.
So, when I looked up that video of the cutscenes just to play that little clip, and right off the bat, you know, in the comments, the one that's highlighted for me is, this game is what caused Link and all his descendants to become mute for all eternity.
Honestly, show me the lie.
There is a game that's kind of inspired by the Zelda CDI games, or at least it looks inspired, but it's an actual good game. I have to look over because I know they played it on Game Grumps.
One eternity later.
Oh, okay. I found it. So, this game that was inspired by the Zelda CDI games, but actually, you know, done right and actually had a lot of care put into it. Arzette, the Jewel of Fairmore. It was developed by CDI, you know, CDI, like SEDY space IYE.
It's EWE.
And it was published by Limited Run Games. It was released February 14th, 2024, so this year, for Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows. In the Wikipedia, it's described as a spiritual successor to the Zelda CDI games. Because, like I said, whoever made it was inspired by the Zelda CDI games to create, like, that same goofy style of the CDI games, but actually create a good game around it. There's not much more I could go into with that because, I mean, hey, play it for yourself. And I know, I'm sorry, I'm not describing a lot of these, but honestly...
Is it the CDI games that Nintendo had to publicly come out and be like, yeah, we actually don't have anything to do with this?
They just, well, obviously it's based off of their thing and they
like,
let it happen.
These are not canon?
They let it happen, but they had to come out and say, like, yeah, it's not part of any canon at all.
Yeah.
But any final thoughts on any of the Zelda spin-off games, or anything you would want to see as a spin-off?
I don't know if it's considered a spin-off, but I want Majora's Mask to do something else, whether it's a sequel or what. Like a true sequel.
Something like related to the plot, or something just kind of...
Yeah, or like two games. Like what happens to I always want to call it Terraria, and it's not.
Termina.
Yeah, what happens to Termina after it's destroyed? Like, what happens if Link is unsuccessful?
Well, I would think it wouldn't exist anymore.
But I just feel like you could put... Listen, Majora's Mask is my favorite Zelda game. Fucking leave me alone. Even if we had like a spiritual successor, like...
Here's what happens to Termina after the moon crashes. It looks like 80% of North Dakota flat.
It's basically a crater. Everybody's dead. No, but like, because Majora's Mask...
There are bones everywhere.
And it has nothing to do with human bones.
The grass scorched. The people dead.
Go full scorched earth. No, because to me, and I know that we could fight about this all day, every day, and I don't have the spoons to do it today, but to me, Majora's Mask feels like a spiritual successor to Ocarina of Time, right?
I mean, it is literally the sequel to Ocarina of Time.
Correct. So I feel like you could expound on that.
Expound.
You know what I mean? I just feel like there's more there.
I kind of go along with what you're saying. I would like to see more focus, not necessarily a spin-off game, but like a spin-off thing about the Happy Mask Salesman.
Yes. Give the Mappy Hask Salesman.
Mappy Hask Salesman.
I have ADHD too close to the sun today.
That would be dyslexia. Anyway.
Kiss my whole ass. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah. Give the Happy Mask Salesman his own game. He should be the main character in the spiritual successor to Majora's Mask.
Well, I don't know about his own game, but I do want something about the Happy Mask Salesman, like explaining his, something before the events of Majora's Mask and what happens to him after. Because I said in the theories video, or the theories episode that I did, I think there's more to the Happy Mask Salesman than they put on. Because,
Oh, 100%. Just like in Undertale.
How else would he be able to hold on to this incredibly powerful mask?
Well, just like in Undertale, when you play through the game for the first time, you know that there's more to Sans than he's letting on. I think the same is true for the Happy Mask Salesman.
Well, yeah, because why does he, this evil mask, why does he need to get his hands on it? What does he know that we don't?
He knows a lot that we don't. I guarantee you that.
But anything else with these games? Anything you wonder?
I think I need to give Hyrule Warriors another chance.
And you know what I think? It sure is boring around here.
I'm gonna karate chop you.
I just wonder what Ganon's up to.
Threatening violence on air. I'll do it.
Oh my god, I'm about to rewatch all the cutscenes from both of those games because
I kind of want to rewatch Dan and Aaron play those games because those were some of my favorite videos.
Oh my god, the Game Grumps playthrough of the Zelda CDI games.
I also love the playthrough of Breath of the Wild where Aaron screwed up a 3-letter word.
EYE, that's you. Or yeah,
it's EWE.
EYE, that's you. Are you fucking serious? EWE is you, Aaron.
Yeah, EYE, that's you.
You misspelled it. A 3-letter word.
My favorite part of that whole.
I'm embarrassed.
My favorite part of that whole video is a solid 15 seconds of silence, and then Dan just going, "Are you fucking serious?" So fucking funny.
Yeah, speaking on that and like Game Grumps and stuff, I would say some of their best playthroughs they've done are of Zelda games.
100%. When I'm in a bad mood, I rewatch their Wind Waker playthrough.
I believe they've done pretty much every Zelda game so far.
I think so.
Like they've done Ocarina of Time, except for Majora's Mask. I don't think they've done Majora's Mask.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure either that or they maybe started it but never finished it.
That sounds about right. Hold on, let me YouTube it. Let me find out.
Oh my god. Alright, we can find this answer after we do the outro. If that's all that we got on the Zelda CDI or the Zelda spin-off games, then I think we can close this episode. I love Legend of Zelda. I love any spin-offs. Well, most of them.
They did play Majora's Mask. They played the whole game. There's 82 episodes.
Okay, anyway.
I fucking knew it. I told your ass.
But yeah, any Zelda spin-off games, anything we mentioned, definitely go play. You can definitely get more of a feel for it than, I can I can tell you through awkward stirring and, all that. But I think we'll call it an episode here because I'm hungry and I don't know about Kate, but she's probably gonna poop or something. But
okay.
With that being said, I've been Cameron.
I've been vastly disrespected.
Drink your water, do positive things out there. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Nerds out.
How dare you?